Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Vayechi. This Dvar Torah, based on the words of Rav S.Schwab Zatzal, can be used for simcha of a wedding, an ufraf, or a Sheva Brachos, as well as for a Bris Milah. In fact, that is what I am doing this week. I plan to present it on Thursday. I have an ufraf for a nephew and a Bris Milah for a great nephew. So here we go. So in Perek Memches Pasuk Yudalad, we have the well-known story where Yaakov Avinu wants to give a bracha to his grandsons, Efraim and Menashe, the sons of Yosef. Yosef sets it up so that Menashe, the Bechor, is on the right, and Ephraim, the younger brother, is on the left. And of course, this is one of my favorite stories in Chumash. And Yaakov puts his right hand onto the head of Ephraim and the left hand onto the head of Menashe. Rav S.Schwab asked, why didn't he ask Yosef to move the grandchildren's positions so that would fit, instead of having to put his right hand over onto Ephraim and the left hand onto the Menashe? So Rav S.Schwab says this is to teach us a lesson. Yosef himself was very special. He was the only one of the Shvatim that were called a tzaddikim, which is very rare in the Torah to be called a tzaddik. Yosef had tzaddik. And that's because he was a Renaissance man of sorts, that he had both spiritual greatness of Talmud Torah and Midos, as well as the secular greatness. He was the viceroy in charge of the economy in the land of Egypt. However, while he transferred these character traits to his sons Efraim and Menashe, they didn't both get both character traits. Each one had a dominant role of one character trait. Menashe assisted his father in the politics and ruling Egypt, while Ephraim was the one who was dedicated more to Torah. He learned with his grandfather, Yaakov Avinu. So when Yaakov put his right hand onto Ephraim and left Menashe in the same spot, which would be still on Yaakov's right-hand side, it was a message that both of these roles are important. Klal Yisrael needs the people the Bali Batim, who are involved with the tzibur, building communities, building homes, but it also needs people that are the religious leaders, the Talmidei Chachamim. And the message of putting the right hand onto Ephraim is to say that Talmud Torah, learning Torah, is greater than the political aspect, the community building, which of course are the point here is that they are important. But this is even more important to have the Talmidei Chachamim on the top. And when Yaakov Avinu crossed both of his hands over each other, they formed a knot that united these two brothers, Efraim and Menashe, the Ish Maseh and the Ish Chachma, because that's what's needed to build Klal Yisrael. Now, there's a minhag that used to be apparently for all, but now it seems to be more Sephardic minhag by a Bris, that they mention the pasuk of Avram's blessing, of Yaakov, of Menashe and Ephraim. Why is it done out of Bris? Because Milah is from the word of mahul, which means blended, and that's giving us, based on what we just said before, at the time when the soul is brought into the body of the person at the Bris Milah, Yaakov wants to fuse those two together so that the child will be zocha, hopefully to have the potential of fulfilling what he can to be both a spiritual person endowed with Torah wisdom, as well as, and that's like Ephraim, or as a practical leader who implements the lofty goals of Torah life like Menashe. Which brings us back to the chassan and kala. I won't give the specifics, but this could be used for everyone. But it's also telling us that when a family is created, a husband and a wife, these two units, they each have a role. The ish is the akaris abayis. The husband, in many circumstances, are supporting the family financially, as well as for Torah. Whatever the roles that they have today, the point is that the chassan and kala should unite together and take their respective roles, like Efraim and Menashe having the spiritual and the physical unity together as they build a Beis Nen Yisrael. Thank you for listening. Mazel tov to all Chassanim and Kala, and also those having their Bris Milah when they're old enough to hear this. Have a wonderful Shabbos.